Out of an excellent innings of 39 not out from Derek Pringle. There were 4 more balls bowled up to the close of play, no runs scored. 220 for 5 was the closing figure for England, and the bowling figures for West Indies, the outstanding performance, that of Malcolm Marshall, 4 for 54. He got them right back in the game after, at lunchtime, England had been right on top. There was support from the other bowlers. Courtney Walsh, I thought, was unlucky, and Curtly Ambrose bowled well, whereas Patrick Patterson occasionally, I thought, was too short, but he's young in the game and he'll be back there tomorrow. Walsh also bowled very well. Well, conditions here at the start of play on the second day, not all that good. The forecast was for showers, some light ones in the morning and heavier in the afternoon. And in fact, the umpires allowed only 1 ball to be bowled before they went off the field, but only a short time was lost. We pick up the action now. The first ball of the second over, 221 for 5. Marshall is bowling from the pavilion end.
The first glimpse of very hazy sunshine as Marshall just lollops in. Oh my goodness, what a loosener. I don't think I've seen him run in that way, Raymond, and well,
that certainly looked like about 25 overs yesterday ball. He struggled to get to a wicket. The arm was taking Jack Birkinshaw's head off, and the ball was straight for Viv Richards at slip.
That'll be quick.
Downton calling for the quick single there, but as you can see, he was playing off the back foot, which meant he was a little bit slow in getting off, and he really was at full stretch here. I don't think he would probably have been out if the ball had hit the stumps. He'd have been keeping running to the pavilion.
Oh, and that's bowled in. Malcolm Marshall's 5th wicket of the innings. It's the 16th time the great man has done it for West Indies. And that's the big strike that Richards wanted.
Malcolm Marshall using the in-swinger again, but he started to go forward, went nowhere with his feet, almost together, and that's been the problem for the England batsmen. If you would have kept going forward into the shot there, even if it hit your leg, you'd have got away with the LBW decision. But well bowled by Malcolm Marshall. He's certainly used this cross breeze to help his in-swing. I've never seen him really bowl the in-swinger quite as much. He's always tended to rely on the outswinger, but in this match he's bowled it very, very well indeed, and that was another superb example.
Yes, it just goes to show what a great bowler can do when conditions are there to be exploited. There it is, bending in. Fairly indeterminate foot movement, but all credit to the bowler. So the new batsman for England, John Embury. He's averaging over 40 for England in the last 12 months, so his batting and effectiveness has improved no end.
Good thinking by Marshall, because Embury never comes really forward. He just plays across the crease, and if he can get this in-swinger just to straighten up, he's got a good chance of LBW. He's also got a man 3/4 of the way back at square leg, because he will be trying Embury with a bouncer before long, and John Embury does hit the ball up in that area.
Oh, and there's a brilliant catch. Brilliant catch. And there was the other one that was slanted across Embury. What another great double strike by Marshall.
Well, again, that was the point we're just making, that John Embury doesn't get forward. He just plays about 6 in front of the crease. You see, he goes back a little bit first, and really the front foot's gone nowhere, which allows it to catch the outside edge, and really a magnificent take there by Dujan, because the ball wouldn't have carried to Richards at first slip. So he made a lot of ground. He took that right in front of first slip. But again, another superb piece of bowling by Malcolm Marshall.
6 out of these first 7 wickets. No wonder he's friendly with the umpire. 6 for 56 off 26 overs. Marvellous figures.
Yes, and if West Indies could this English tail off pretty quickly. De Freitas has got a few runs, but he's the only one of De Freitas, Jarvis, Dilly who've made runs this year. Anywhere around about 250, that would be a magnificent performance considering the start that England got yesterday.
You see how well Dujon did here to commit himself, because this ball angling across, Embury just tentatively forward, a wide deflection that couldn't have gone to slip. Ambrose to Downton. Oh, threw him in under him.
That was a bit apprehensive here. A real positive stroke played. And really a very lazy shot again, and the ball going between bat and pad and just scraping that off stump.
And they're looking, they can take another one here. A little bit of slapdash cricket there by the West Indies. Nobody bothered to back up when Patterson came in and underarmed that at the stumps. It's a comfortable single in the first place.
They'll pick up 4 for that. Only leg buys, but when runs are at such a premium, doesn't matter how they come, scrambled off the edge or off the pad.
And you can see the swing there. And just a little touch of the pad, and that going very fine indeed.
So Curtly Ambrose to bowl to Philip de Freitas.
Much doubt about that one. Not absolutely certain how the batsman de Freitas managed to play inside it. All seemed to go past the outside edge. Perhaps the replay will show something different.
Well, that looked a fairly straight delivery. He was just down the wrong line. It just did hold up a little, but a little bit disappointing. De Freitas playing with his feet together.
And Paul Jarvis has come out. A few butterflies around there, I would think, at the moment. First test match on English soil, and this is why he's out there. Before the start of this over, Marshall had 6 for 61, so he's a couple of wickets to go to beat that best bowling performance achieved at Headingley. Been a few seam bowlers do well on that pitch. Well done. Nice way to get off the mark. May not have come completely off the middle of the bat, but it went like a bullet past gully.
Yes, and I think it's refreshing to see somebody swinging the bat that's coming in down the order. He might as well, because Marshall's such a good bowler. He might just as well swing the bat. And that went very, very quickly just behind square on the offside.
And he's going to face Marshall coming around the wicket now. It's well fielded and well backed up by Gus Logie. May not be all that pleased with Desmond Haynes at the moment.
And a very quick single this. Desmond Haynes moving very quickly to his left and having a shy and not missing by much.
had an escape there. Roars from the crowd there of run from all those in the audience who felt they could have made it back quite easily.
And I think this was almost a caught and bowled, it was. But very difficult to keep your balance when you're running away. I think he almost hit it twice, in fact.
Now, I wonder why Curtly Ambrose has put himself in the position of being spoken to by umpire Bird for bowling successive bounces at tail ender. Have Yorkshire played West Indies so far this summer, Raymond?
No, not yet, but I think Mr. Ambrose might find he has a long way to go down from that 6'9" when young Jarvis has a little bowl at him if he gets the opportunity.
Hold him. That angle coming from very high and rather wideish on the bowling crease has defeated a couple of players today. Ambrose picks up another wicket. Jarvis is gone. And England are 9 down.
Well, that's the length to be bowling to tail-ender batsman. Full length right up there. The point we're making earlier about Joe Garner bowling a magnificent Yorker from 6'8", 6'9", and Ambrose is a similar size, and I'm sure that he'll probably be over the top of the sight screen at the far end and bowling out of the crowd. And whenever he has pitched the ball right up there, he's caused problems.
I think there's a good indication of how difficult a bowler of that type can be, Ray, in that Jarvis dismissal. If you just keep your eye on Jarvis's bat, he plays pretty well straight. Doesn't hit across it too much, but the ball is coming in on such an angle that even though he plays quite straight, he was hitting it perhaps through mid-on, he's hitting across it almost at 30 to 40 degrees. And life for Graham Dilley with his first ball. The total goes on to 245 for 9.
And if the West Indians do bowl England out for the 250 mark, that's going to be a tremendous performance when you consider the start that England got yesterday morning.
That's well done, Curtly Ambrose. 4 wickets for him. A splendid debut. He gave it the two-fisted salute as well. So he knew exactly what the position was and is highly delighted.
Again, good full-length delivery. Dilley never getting really into line there. That ball pitched about leg stump, and you really shouldn't be getting bowled out by that as a left-handed batsman. There should be something in the way, and I suppose that's the reason that Graham Dilley's at number 11 in the batting order.
A terrific performance by the West Indies bowlers there. England all out for 245, having started the day at 220 for 5. Great performance from Ambrose, but in particular from Malcolm Marshall. None of the England batsmen able to come to terms with them today, or indeed in the latter part of yesterday. Downton 16 not out, and Marshall 6 for 69. Ambrose 4 for 53 from 26 overs and 10 maidens in his first Test match on English soil. We pick up play now in the West Indies innings. It's the second over. De Freitas is coming into Haynes, and no runs are on the board.
Well, no second thoughts about that. First ball that Desmond Haynes faced, a long hop, got just what it deserved.
Not a bad sort of shot for someone that's looked on as a solid player. Short outside the off stump, and Desmond Haynes getting right on top of that. See how he rolled his wrists over the top of it as he hit it, keeping it right down. Marvellous stroke.
Heavy rain delayed play after lunch, and the umpires eventually, after several inspections, got things underway again at 4:15. Here's Dilly now, bowling to Greenwich. It's the 13th over of the innings. West Indies, 23 for no wicket.
Oh, and there's a really dismissive shot. Great shot.
Having talked about Derek Pringle and the possibility that he might not have a bowl, he's now joining the attack at the Ratcliffe Road end.
Well, that was a nasty one. Really well played. Just took the bottom hand off the bat in time, but you heard a nasty crunch of ball on knuckle.
This is one of the things that if you're right behind the line of the ball, you do play it and you play it down. And you saw Desmond Haynes' head was right behind the line of the ball there, and although it bounced and lifted, he still pushed it down. Very, very well played indeed. Nasty delivery.
Oh, that was a nasty ball. Poor Desmond is getting a rough trip. Now that's the second hand, that's the left hand, and he calls immediately for help. He may well have a fracture there. It was a very nasty crack. The ball just leapt up, not really short.
Well, that's a good length. In fact, he was deciding to come forward onto that one. And the freight is a little bit quicker than Prindle, so the damage could be more severe. Certainly got high.
Well, that's the shot, but it's superbly played, and down, and through, and four. And 50 for no wicket.
So Paul Jarvis coming on to have a try now at the pavilion end. Oh, and that was a chance straight away. Comfortable chance there at first slip. John Embry, the fielder. That's disappointment for Paul Jarvis. Straight on a length, roundabout off stump. Greenwich just playing defensive shot, and the ball going at a comfortable knee height there. John Embry spilling it. So that's disappointment for Paul Jarvis and disappointment for England.
Revenge. Nice work, well bowled by Jarvis. And boy, do you think Embry won't be relieved out there? Gordon Greenwich, the man out.
Well, that was a similar line. Just bounced a little bit more, but Greenwich not quite getting to his front foot. Just going away a little bit, and a quite comfortable catch there for Paul Downton. So no runs scored since that first miss by John Embry. It could have been a very expensive miss.
Elegant, Desmond. Very elegant.
No, I can't imagine Mike Gatting being too impressed at short leg. You've enough dangers there without flying bats.
That's a great shot. Desmond Haynes really launched himself at that run, just slightly over pitch from Paul Jarvis.
Shot of the match for me. Wide half volley. Desmond Haynes, look at that front foot getting in there.
Embry now to Richardson. A splendid piece of work by the close infielder there. John Embry claims the wicket. That's the sort of fielding that really turns a match. Gatting is the man at short leg.
And he sees Richardson go back, and he's a little bit on the back foot, and he's marvellously anticipated and dived forward there. Superb catch, a little bit of turn there for Embry as well. See Gatting staying down. Absolutely superb catch.
Pause for Richardson going off. And now for Vivian Richards coming on. There's Embry to Haynes. Now fielded.
Cracking square drive from Desmond Haynes, and Chris Broad's not the most athletic fielder. A tremendous stop.
The Freitas couldn't quite match it. He got his fingertips to it. That's two fierce blows by Desmond Haynes, the first two balls of this over.
It looks as though if it's in the blood area, Desmond Haynes is going to give it the full treatment.
If that's going to be Desmond Haynes' pattern of play, I'd be very much inclined to give John Embry a long on. Just around about where that one was smashed, that at least would stop Haynes playing the stroke. There's Dilly to Richards. Made up for the missed pull shot, that fierce drive, that a little bit of damage to Paul Jarvis's fingers, brought up the 100 as well.
Beautiful off drive this, absolutely copybook.
$100 up in 241 balls, second 50 from 103.
No hanging about here. Viv Richards sweeping off the stumps.
It's a brilliant stroke. Two of them in this over. One the sweep, and that one a lovely clip away through mid-wicket. 11 from the over, following 9 from the previous over from Embry. And a half century for Desmond Haynes, and a very good one too. He's made his 50 out of 115 for 2. We're into the 41st over of the innings. A beautiful stroke. Simply racing across this outfield, dampened by the heavy rain earlier in the day.
Yes, this was only really a forward push. A big heavy bat and a very strong man. But that just looked like a forward defensive shot, and it really raced away to the long on boundary.
I think that was a mistake. Not on Richards' part, but on Dilly's. And Richards flowed on beautifully to be 22 not out at the close of play, 126 for 2, with just 3 more runs added after that boundary. 25 to Greenwich, 17 to Richie Richardson, and Haynes, I thought, played quite delightfully out there this afternoon. Some lovely little touches as well as some bludgeoning blows for his half-century. 126 for 2, and the England bowling figures, well, they bowled all right, but I don't think they'll be entirely happy with what happened out there. Dilly 41 from 13 overs, De Freitas 30 from 11. Thought Pringle was the best, 7.1 overs, 5 maidens, none for 4, and Jarvis bowled pretty well also. Imbury certainly turned the ball, but the West Indies set out to get after him. This is the situation at the end of the second day. West Indies 126 for 2 after England were bowled out for 245. So the West Indies 119 runs behind and looking extremely dangerous. Pringle had bowled 1 over and Jarvis 1.